So what we have seen so far: requirement analysis, designing, development, and testing. Right now, the next step will be next stage. You already know the deployment, where cloud engineer go and deploy the application for the customer on the production. Right, but before that, there is one more crucial phase will come for the tester. Right, because see, when we test any application, right, when we says okay, this is what we have done 100% testing and everything is tested, right, that does not mean we can directly put the those application on the production. We have to call the customer, we have to tell them okay, let's do the UAT session, right? So the UAT will come over here, right? I will write down over here the UAT session, right? Now what is UAT session, guys? It's a user acceptance testing, right?
So
That
is that something before the deployment?
Yeah.
exactly before the deployment, right? Because so far what we have agreed as a part of our internal team, these people are our team, right? A designer, the developer, the business analyst person, everything, right? So this is our internal team. Now we have developed something, we have tested something, and we are all good. We can say okay, this is what we can show to the customer, right? So over here, user, that means customer. You got my point. So once user will accept, means customer will accept these particular things, okay, this is what I want to develop, then and then we can host on the production. You got my point.
So basically,
So
after the tester tests it, you give
Exactly.
the customer the option to test it and see if they approve of it.
Exactly. So we give the option to the customer, okay, let's, and most of the time UAT session will be on site. If it is on site, then we have the full day meet conference room booked for the customer. We have QA lead, we have project manager, we have business analyst person, we have scrum master. So everybody from our company side, and from the customer side, we will have one or two person like who is the working on the business, who is good in there to understand the application. So they will sit on in front of us and we demonstrate the application. We just says okay, see, this is what we have designed and this is how the application is going to be work once we host on the production. You got my point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's
that
no good
is,
testing
yeah,
before.
yeah, that is what you can say is final sign off from the customer before hosting the production, before hosting the application on the production, right? Now this is not the part of the SDLC, guys. This is not a part of SDLC. What we are discussing right now is SDLC, software development. Because if you go Google, right, if you go and Google and search this SDLC, right, you cannot see these things, the UAT. But why I am making you understand, because this is very crucial point you to understand at this stage. So
That that's basically the software testers portion.
yeah, this is a part of the software testing, but this is very crucial point when you
Gotcha.
go to this hierarchy, right? So now over here we have the our team and and customer team, right? They will come together, they will schedule one day for our 6 hour meetings, and they will go through all the requirement that they have designed and developed. You got my point? I used to do many UAT session, because whenever we developed any application, right, they says, okay, Ankit, you go and sit with the customer, explain them what we have designed, how they need to use this application, and all those things. Because if customer is don't know how they gonna use the application, right, then if suppose if their end user will come up with any questions, how they can answer those questions. For that things, you can also say user training. You can also say user training. But over here, once customer says yeah, this is what we want, we take the feedback from them. As Khola says, we take the feedback, we take the review from them, we can take their suggestions what they need to improve in the next phase, right? Everything we note down, and once customer says yeah, we are happy with these things, you can upload on the production and our user can start using it, right? So that is a UAT session, guys. Always these terms will come in your lifetime. They will ask you, okay, are you the part of the UAT session? Always says yes, I am the part of the UAT session. I used to do the UAT with the customers I used to demonstrate customer what we have developed and how we have developed, how to use the application. That is user acceptance testing. Very crucial, guys. And when I just says very crucial, that means it is very important for your job as well. Okay, so always understand this thing. We will also learn this UAT in detail, but this is coming as a part of the SDLC, right? Now,
Mhm.
once UAT session is done, customer says, yeah, I'm very happy with this application. You go and deploy on the production. At the next stage will come deployment, right? Deployment. So over here, it will come as a deployment, deployment phase, right? So we're gonna work on this deployment phase, Anthony. Again, you.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Say it again.
Yeah, we're gonna work on this deployment phase. Once application is ready, right? Now we need to host on the production so everybody can use. So we're gonna do that stuffs.
The, the, the developer, right?
No, Khola, we're gonna do that stuffs.
The cloud engineer.
Exactly, the cloud engineer, right? So the cloud engineer will come into the picture over here, and they will do the stuffs. So cloud engineer, and the famous hosting will be AWS. Then we have Apache, then we have Windows, IIS. These are the server where we can host the application, right? And once application is hosted, right, customer will get their application based on this requirement. So now we are on the last stage. So this is how, guys, SDLC is gonna be work. This is how the SDLC normally most of the company follow this hierarchy. You got my point?
I
Mm-hmm.
have a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, so for everything else, like for example, Excel and Selenium and QTP
Mm-hmm.
and HTML, you put it on the other side of the chart. But for
Mm-hmm.
development phase, you put Windows and IIS and Apache and AWS on the right side of the chart. So like,
This is
does it
because
really matter?
no. This is because I just
Because
found.
on the top, because on the top, you on the right side, you were writing like like the requirements or what they use, and then for test phase, you wrote test cases and everything. So I'm just thinking if it's supposed to be on the left side, yeah. Just
Does
just
it?
from my notes,
No,
it
no, no,
makes
no.
it easier for me.
No. Because
It's a good
Because
point.
like because what if tomorrow you ask me like what does a cloud engineer do, and I'm gonna be like nothing. And when you ask me what does he use, I tell you Windows. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like in
exactly.
that sense. So
Okay.
that's why I want it to be on the right.
Yeah, they do the hosting. They do the hosting and
Yeah. All right.
deployment.
Perfect. All right.
Right? When I just says hosting, that means whatever we have on our local machine, we are going to make it on the internet for the people. That is called hosting. That is called deployment, right? If I need to develop any website, right, I can buy a domain. But once I develop the website on my machine, right, if I need to make it publicly available on the internet, I have to buy the hosting. I have to buy the server, AWS or Apache or something like that way, right? So once I have space on the cloud, see, Google is not free, guys. If you want something available on Google, right, we have to put something over there. So that is called hosting. Now you got the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did because I found. Let's write down over here. That's the reason I did that way. Okay, perfect. So guys, this is what you need to understand, and why I am focusing on these things. This is very important because you might be aware, you might be not be aware, but this is what you need to understand, right? I know Ali has some prior training experience, so he might be catch up very quickly. But for you, Kola and Anthony, this is very important point for you because this is you are learning one time. Once you
Mhm.
understand this concept, you it will be very easy for you to answer the people in the interview, to answer the people in your once you join any job, right? This is what you
Right.
can see. You can see the designer will be working in your team, you can see the developer is working in your team, right? And at that time, okay, the late Latif is come, Talha is there. So at that time, right, you understand, okay, developer, what developer will do? Okay, these are the people who writing the coding files for our business. So they must be Java developer, Python developer, C Sharp developer. Now somebody says, what designer do? Oh, designer design the application. What is the UI part? What is the GUI part, right? The user can see HTML and all those things that designer can do. Okay, what tester can do? Tester can do the testing to make sure our application is will have the 100% quality and it should match the requirement of our customer. Then what cloud engineer will do? Cloud engineer will do the hosting and deployment of our application on the server, right? So this is what, guys, SDLC is all about, right? Now from this chart we come to know few things, right? If somebody asks you, and they definitely ask you, what is your team size in your current project, right? Or your team size in current project, they're gonna ask this. They must be know, okay, you're working on some project, right? So what is your team size? And if you don't aware about your team size, that means you are not working on the project, right? If you are living in the family, you should be know who are living in your family with you. So this is something similar to that. What is your project team look like? So I will just say, in my project team I have one project manager, one business analyst person, right? Two designer, two developer, oh sorry, four developer will be always higher, right? Then what we will have, I have two testers, one cloud engineer, right? Sometimes the cloud engineer, they also says DevOps engineer. If you have heard these terms, DevOps, this is one of the demanding skill in the market as well after the automation. DevOps engineer, right? Then what else they have? Okay, sometimes they have the, yeah, this is what the normal team size will look like based on the SDLC, right? So if somebody says how many people you have in your test team, is you can normally says 10 to 12 people, right? 10 to 10 people normally. This is normally the team size for any project, guys. You got my point?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is also they're gonna ask when they, mostly when they do the interview, they says, okay, explain your project, explain your what is who is working in your team and all those things. So this is what you need to understand, okay? And this is all
Um,
coming, yeah, this, yeah, Ali.
this is aside from this, like I understand that, but can you just tell me a little bit more about manual or automation?
This is
Like, what's the difference? Because you said Excel and Xilium and QTP, but
exactly.
what's what's really
uh
the difference? What does one do and what does the other one do? Like, what projects or products do they get?
Ali, this is all the part of this training. You will learn everything. You got my point? But we will go
Okay.
step by steps, right? We can, over here we cannot see what is HTML and what is this thing, but software testing, because this is the initial stage. I want you to understand, because I know you are aware about these things, but like the Khola and Anthony will not be aware about these things, right? And I bet you cannot see this diagram anywhere in the internet in this way, the way I have explained these things, right? So just capture this image in your mind for lifetime, right? Store it. What is who gonna do what things, right? Because in the next phase we're gonna focus on more things about the testing. There are many things before learning the manual and automation engineer, right? You have to learn many things. What is QA means, what is QC means, right? What quality assurance, what is quality checking, right? What is black box testing, what is white box testing? Because once you clear those concepts, then for manual and automation is something different. The manual will be done by the human, right? And the automation is something done by the automation tools. You got my point? I will also share the test case format. I will also give you the assignment to write the test case, right? So all those things will be the part of learning, but this is what I want you to capture in your mind for lifetime, SDLC, because this is very basic for people to understand.
Uh-huh.
Once you have this concept clear, you can work on, you need to focus on these things. We are as a, if you're a developer, you need to focus on development phase, but we are a tester, so we're going to focus on this phase only, right? So whatever the next things will come for the testing phase. You got my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once we start those part, you will definitely see how we can write how manual tester write the test case in the Excel, and how the automation tester can write the test case in the programming. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Now let's we jump to the our presentations, and you can see the same thing I have designed over here, right? But you can also in your recording you can also see these things. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this image SDLC, and I will send it to you guys. Just keep this image in your phone, right? Keep this image in your phone. Whenever you get free, just look this image. If you keep looking this image for at least 5 to 6 times, you will understand what is SDLC, right? This is very crucial, and that's the reason I am focusing on these steps. Okay. Now the next things will be come over here is the software development model, guys, right? Because how this is SDLC, right? But how we gonna use this SDLC? There are two way we can use the SDLC: the waterfall model and the agile model, right? So now let's we learn those things. Let me close these things. Okay. So waterfall and agile, right? So what is those things? And I will just let you know how it's gonna be work. They both take the SDLC in their picture, right? They both use the SDLC, software development life cycle, but in the different way. You got my point? They both use the software development life cycle, but in the different way. That is called software development models, guys. Agile is one of the a used model. Most of the application follow the agile model, so always understand this agile in detail. I will also make you aware about this agile, how it's going to be work, right? So let's we first understand the waterfall. What is waterfall model? This is just a name, guys. Waterfall model, right? So and they both use the SDLC, guys. SDLC means software development lifecycle. Now in the waterfall model, what normally people will do, they will first finish the requirement analysis, right? And once this is done, understand, guys, once this is fully done, once this phase is done, sign up, then and they will start the designing, right? And once designing is done 100%, right, then and they will start the development. And once the development is finished 100%, then they do the testing. And once the testing is done 100%, then they deploy the product for the customer, right? So over here you see this gonna work like this way, from top to bottom, right? There is nothing you can go revert, you can go back, right? Let's suppose if you have done the requirement, if you have done the designing, if something goes wrong with the requirement, you cannot go like this way. This is not permittable, right? This is not permittable in the waterfall
What do
model,
you mean?
guys.
You can't go
Why
back.
not? No, I mean, I get that you can't go back, but if there is something wrong, why can you not go back?
Yeah, I will let you know why we cannot go back. Let's suppose this model mainly used by the freelancer. You got my point? This model is mainly used by the freelancer. And how the freelancer work, this is very traditional model at the initial stage of the before 15 to 20 years, right? When people used to develop any application, right, though they have many issues. Sometimes customer says okay, after working 3 to 4 months, customer says okay, this is what we do not want. Because initially customer agreed with the requirement, but they took 3 to 4 months to develop the application. And at that time the market gets changed, the requirement gets changed, right? So customer says okay, I need these stuffs, these things as well, right? So this is caused the issue in the timeline and the pricing. The main thing is pricing. Let's suppose if you are a freelancer, right? If I am a freelancer and you are my customer, you just says okay, I need a website with these 4 pages, right? I want to develop the website with these 4 pages. So I just says okay, no worries, I will develop. And I work for 1 month, and I just give you the demo of your website, and you just came to know okay, the market has changed, the requirement has changed. Now people are not using the website like this way, right? They use something like that way. So at that time what is happening, the effort that the development company are putting got wasted. And also for the customer, because the market is keeps changing with the requirement. You got my point? So this is,
Got it.
and initially why people prefer the waterfall model, because once they finalize the requirement, they send a document to the customer and they take the half payment. You got my point? They take the half payment upfront. Okay, this is what you need to develop. It will take 2 months, and this is the cost of your application, and we need this amount in advance to start the development. You got my point? So once that is given, customer cannot change the requirement, and you cannot. You also aware what you need to develop at the end of the 3 month, and that's the reason it says waterfall, like water is falling from one point to another point, right? It always go down, right? This is a stage you can see the steps from one stage to another, like a water is falling from one step to another, right? This is called traditional waterfall model. And what is the disadvantage of this model? Suppose if you have a team of 5 people, or if you have the SDLC team of 5 people on the different role, business analyst will do the requirement analysis and all those things, right? So at the time business analyst do the requirement analysis, all other team member will do not have any inputs to start their work. You got my point? They are blank. They will wait 2 or 3 months, they will keep learning other stuffs. So that is a disadvantage. Once designer will finish the designing, then and then developer can start their work. So developer have to wait till first two phase will complete, right? So this is not the good utilization of the resource as well for the IT companies, right? But why they prefer this model? Because they want the money from the customer, and they want to secure their payment plan. So that's the reason they used to do these things. Because when you do the freelancing, right, I used to do the freelancing 3 years ago. I used to design the website. So sometimes it may be happen, customer says okay, after designing the website they says okay, this is what we need, this menu as well, we need this contact form as well, we need this option as well, right? So requirement they change keeping the requirement, and based on that it affect our payment plan, right? Because whatever we have given there a quotation, right, $10,000 or $20,000 is based on the time duration. We will take 3 months to develop these things. Now if they keep changing those things, it will take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, right? And when it says okay, if you want to develop these things it will cost extra, then they says okay, do one thing, remove this part and add this part, right? So this is something cause the problem, and where the waterfall model is come into the picture, they will go step by step. Everything once they finish the designing, they show the customer this is what we have designed, now give us 20 more percent of payment. Once this is developed, they show the developer this is what we have developed, now give us 20 more percent in the payment. This is how they set up the milestone for the payment as well, with their work, with the time, with the payment milestone, right? And this is how the waterfall model work. You got my point? Now Kola uses says, right, why they cannot go back to the other phase, right? And to
Mm.
overcome on this strategy, they come up with the agile methodology, right? The same thing they come up with the agile. Now how the agile is going to be work, understand guys? This is first they will start with the requirement analysis, right? Then what they will do, they will start the designing, right? Once the designing is finished, they will do the development, and once the development is finished they do the testing, and once testing is finished they will do the deployment, right? So you see, now they are working in the circle. Now they are working in the circle, right? They are working in the circle. So this circle will keep going, guys. This circle is going to be keep going, right? Requirement, designing, development, testing, development, requirement, designing, testing, development, and deployment. And they will define the time duration. Let's suppose every 2 months they want to do these things, right? So suppose in 2 months if any change in the requirement, right, from the customer side, they can design it again, they can develop it again, they can do the testing, and they can do the deployment, right? This is how the traditional IT companies work, guys.
So once it's
Is
developed after the 2 months.
sorry.
So basically, what you're saying with with the agile method, it's almost like updating once it's already been developed.
Exactly. We're
Okay.
gonna update what is. Let's suppose if if you have created the designing one website. Let me just show you.
Okay.
This is a website we have developed, right? In the first page, Now the customer says, okay, do one thing, put this login button on the left side, right, not on the right side. So that is a requirement change. You got my point. And now customer says, okay, this link option, I do not want this link option, just remove this option, right? So this is the requirement change. And the challenge in the waterfall model is the same thing. We cannot change the requirement, right? But in the agile methodology, we continuously work with the customer as well. So if market gets changed, if customers requirement gets changed, we already have those strategy in plan, because our team is working continuously. They are doing the requirement analysis. So yeah, Ali. Hello. Hello.
I hear you. I didn't hear Ali say anything though.
No, I think he just left the room. Now he's again back. Okay. So to overcome of those challenges, people decide this model, right? This is called agile methodology. This 2 month, they will sometimes they will say says sprint or iteration, right? Iteration. So every sprint and iteration, they will keep changing the requirement if required. This is not mandatory to they have to keep the changing. They might be get the new requirement, right? They might be get the new requirement in the next phase. They might be get the change in the requirement. These two things they will get as a part of the input in the each and every iteration, right? New requirement or change in the requirement. You got my point. But over here, requirement analysis is continuous with the customer. Designer will keep their work. So if there are any modification in designing, they will keep doing these things. They do not want to wait for anybody to start their work. Developer is also work continuously, tester is also work continuously, and deployment person will work continuously. You got my point?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, are you following?
Can you hear me?
Are you following these
Can you hear
are
me?
you, yeah? So you understand what is the agile model, right? This is a model, guys, and model is used the SDLC. This is the model, agile model. How the SDLC work? Ali, do you have any doubts?
No.
Okay. So the same thing we are doing, but we are just dividing the stuffs. So our customer get little bit flexibility if the market gets changed. Sorry. And our team is also get some flexibility when market gets changed, right? And for that reason, we do these things. Okay. So this is the agile methodology, and this is the waterfall model in the SDLC. Okay. Now let's see, and if you see on this screen, right, if you see on this screen, the same thing is gonna be, you can see. You see, in the waterfall model, one phase to another phase, right? And in the agile model, everything gets repeat in 2 to 3 months, right? Planning, requirement analysis, designing, development, building, and all those things.
So how long does the agile model go on for?
Agile is always continuous process, right? Sometimes it's go for 5 years, 6 years. It's mainly used for the enterprise product,
Hmm.
right? So some product which is keep changing, let's suppose the Facebook or Amazon, right? They follow the same model because the market requirement keeps changing. So they need to update their website continuously. They need to keep their business running, right, with the latest tools and technology. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason they follow the agile model, right? And all the project are in the agile, guys. Always remember these things. All the project in the agile. Nobody work on the waterfall as of now. All the people are working the agile. This is very old model that used to be for the freelancer and all those things. So always remember these two things, right? Now, what is the next things? Software testing. Now we jump into the, okay. Now we jump into the software testing side, guys. So this is what you need to understand from these two things. Software development life cycle and models are done. Now we will focus on the software testing, right? So what is software testing? Let's start from the Anthony, right? So Anthony, what is testing in your point of view?
Testing is basically the process of uh, seeing if the product is ready to go into the development stage,
Mm-hmm.
and once it's getting feedback and getting out all the mistakes or anything else that they might be able to find or tweak before they actually put it into the market.
Okay. Anything else you want to add on? Okay. Kola, what is testing in your point of view?
So after the application is developed, the tester comes in to make sure that it meets all the requirements
Okay,
before it's sent to the cloud engineer.
exactly. So that is a plus point. Like we need to also make sure whatever the product we have developed, it should match with the requirement, right? That is the very crucial point. Now, Ali, what is the software testing?
Um, he, what does he do, or what do you mean?
Process? No, no. What software tester do? That is a secondary thing. So what is a software testing? The core definition. What is the testing is?
Wait, give me a second. So a software tester basically tests cases and test plans.
No, no. I do not want what software tester do. I want what is software testing.
Like he basically tests like whatever the project or the product, whatever the project data that would turn into a product.
No, and that's the reason, Ali, I want you to focus on these small things, because once you go to the advanced steps you will not have time to revise those things. You got my point?
No, what had happened was I had lost internet and I came back, so I
Yeah.
came back to a whole
No,
different
no,
thing.
we have not discussed so far. We have not discussed about what is software testing. I am just asking the people their point of view, what they have in their mind. If they
I mean, in my mind, if you
yeah,
ask me what a software tester does, is that he opens a file. He basically is as a step-by-step manual person. He'll open the file. He'll be like, step one, I'll open the file. Step two, I clicked on this. Step
Ali,
three,
Ali,
you
Ali,
know,
Ali, 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 Ali.
like
You are still explaining me what is software tester do, right? But my question is that what is software testing? I do not want to know what software tester can do, right? That we will learn in the next slide. But I want to know what is software testing. What software testing is mean. Kola,
I
can
think
you
you're
just
thinking
yeah,
too deep into the question. He's,
yeah,
yeah, my fault.
yeah, you're thinking too deep into it.
exactly. He
It's just the process of checking and
Ali
making sure the
Ali
application is functional and serving its purpose.
Exactly. So the purpose of software testing to just make sure whatever application we have developed is matching with our customer requirement with without any error, without any bug, without any defects, right? That is software testing. Ali, you got the point?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what is software testing? The software testing is the process where we make sure whatever the application we have developed is first things. Always remember, guys, it should match with the customer requirement, right? So suppose if we have developed any application which is not giving us any error, that does not mean that is the complete software. It should also match with the customer requirement. You got my point? So the first crucial point is that it should match with the customer requirement. Second, it should not give us any bugs, error or defects, right? Third, it should work as expected from the customer point of view. And once this all these things we will make sure that is the process of software testing. That is called software testing process. You got my point?
yeah,
Yeah. Talha, can you hear me? I think he's disconnected from the call. That's fine. So this is what the software tester will do, right? So now I will just maximize the screen and you can see the definition as well on the screen, right? The software testing is the activity to check whether the actual result is matching with the expected result, right? So now when we discuss the requirement with the customer, that means we know what we need to actually develop at the end of the day or at the end of the once we finish our development, right? So that is called the expected result from the customer. This is what customer is expected. And after 3 months, when we actually develop the application, we need to make sure what customer has expected and what we actually develop for them are matching or not. It's a game between expectation and actual, guys. Always understand what you accept, what you expect, it is getting you what at the end of the day. That is the software testing. Okay. Along with that, to maintain the quality of the application, we check few things. It should be the bug free, it should be easy to use, it should meet with the expectation of the customer, good in design and functionality, it should be reliable and value of money, right? So quality, that means error free and bug free software, that is mainly focus on the quality of the application. You got my point?
Mm-hmm.
Now let me give you the real time example. Let's suppose, Ali, you want to buy a TV, right? And you go to the showroom, right? So first things, can you just give us 3 points of your requirement if you want to buy a TV? What you think in that, what you want in your TV?
I'll definitely want a 4K TV.
Okay.
Um,
So Ali, first requirement is that 4K TV. Then
um, I'd love for it to have a surround system.
okay, second requirement. Then
Um, it sh it should be like, I don't know, 56 inches or something like that, like,
exactly.
or
So
bigger.
you have the three requirement, right? Then you might be have some requirement regarding the sound as well, right? I need
Yeah,
this
that's
sound quality. So that for requirement. Now suppose you go to the showroom and you ask the salesperson, this is my requirement, show me those TVs. I do not want to see 100 TVs. Just show me this requirement TVs, right? So what the salesperson will do, he will bring you to the area where you can only see the 56-inch TV only, right? So now
mhm.
the TV is in front of you, right? So what salesperson normally do, they start the TV, right? They show you what is the quality of the picture, what is the sound quality. So at that time what you are doing, you are testing the TV. You got my point? You are testing the actual features of the TV, if they are working as you want or not, right? So the testing is everywhere in our life as well. If we live in the life, right, where we test everything. Let's suppose if you go to the restaurant, right, to eat something. So if you order a spicy food, right, so that means spicy food is my requirement. You got my point? And once you get that food on your table, you taste that food, that means you are tasting the food if it is spicy or not. If it is not spicy, you will ask the waiter, this is what this is something not I want little bit more spicy. So can you ask the chef to make it more spicy? And if it is matching with your requirement, it is a spicy that you want, you normally eat and pay the bill to the restaurant, right? This is what normally we guys do in our day to day life as well, right? We buy anything, we do anything, we have our requirement, and once it match with our requirement, then and then we do the next steps, right? This is something also when we choose our life partner, right? We have some requirement in our mind, if it is matching with our requirement, then and then we go further, right? So testing is everywhere, and testing is not the something the techniques or it's attitude, I will just say. If you want to become a tester, right, just take it as a attitude. If you believe in quality in your life, you believe in quality in the software life as well, right? If you do not compromise with the quality in your personal life, right, then at the time of doing a testing, you also make sure, okay, if something is not working, I will not tolerate, I will definitely raise as a bug to the developer, right? So this is all about testing, guys. We do the testing every day, each day, with our personal belonging as well. So you need to make sure this is what the testing definition. So if somebody says what is the definition of testing, always says it's an activity to make sure what we want in the right way. This is what I define the testing, right? I want these things, this is my requirement, I want without any error or without any bugs. Suppose if I buy the TV, right, and I install the TV at my home, after 3 to 4 days it stopped working, then I need to call the service engineer and all, they will gonna repair it and all those things, right? So before doing that things, I will make sure I will have the branded TV. So this is again my requirement, I have a good budget to buy the TV and all those things. Okay, so this is the software testing, guys. And whenever you explain anything, try to get some real time example, guys. You will learn these things step by step, but always keep this habit. When you learn something, always have the real time example in your mind. Okay, because when you explain these things in that way in interview, it will give you the good marks. Okay,
Okay.
so there are few things about the testings, right? And why we require the software testing. So that is the readable stuffs. You just go through those readable stuffs that I have mentioned in the tables, right? Increase the profits, improve the risk management, it's give the better reputation in the market. If you are giving the quality software in the market, let's suppose amazon.com, right? If you are buying, your buying experience on the amazon.com is very easy to use and smooth, right? You can select the product, you can add to cart, you can click on the buy now option, you can make the payment, and you can just complete your order in easiest way. That means you are trusting on the Amazon, you will again buy from the Amazon. And suppose every time you go to the Amazon, you stuck with the payment page, the payment page is not going through successful page, right? Your monies get deducted, and after 4 to 5 days you get the refund as well, you are not losing your money. But that experience, this is what you this is something you do not want to do that things again and again, right? So what you will do, I will not buy from the Amazon because their application is not quality qualified application. So I will go to eBay and I will try to search my product on eBay and I will buy from eBay. You got my point? So it is very very important to have the quality in the application, so you will get the good reputation in the market, you will get the good customer in the market, right? If you give the application that easy to use, right? Why everybody use the WhatsApp that much easily? Because WhatsApp is very easy to install and easy to use, right? When it came into the market, it is very easy to install and easy to use. Now advantage is that it connect the everybody across the world. This is not something for US people or for Australian people, right? It across the world. So see, the developer, the creator of the WhatsApp develop the application by keeping the entire world's requirement into the in their mind. So that's the reason people are using the WhatsApp every day, right? And that's the reason Facebook buy the WhatsApp, because it has the many number of people active users, right? If somebody wants to know Amazon or any other big website active user, they already have our data, first name, last name, email address, mobile number, right? So they already have those data. So that is their audience. If they want to promote something, if Amazon want to promote something, they can just put on their website, they can send SMS to all their existing users or the register mobile number if something new come into the market. This is how the business work, this is how they get the more sales and all those things, right? But for doing everything, you should have the quality software with you, quality application. Then and then people will come to you, and then people will use your application. And that's the reason software tester is very crucial in the IT industry. You got my point? Okay, guys, let's see why we require the software testing, right? First things, what is software testing? Always in the learning curve, right? Whenever you learn something new, always ask this question to yourself: what is these things, why we required, and how we do these things, right? These three things, if you understand for any topics, you will learn those topics in detailed way, right? So first, what is software testing and why we require the software testing, right? So as I told you earlier, right, The software testing is important because we need to discover the bugs and error in the application before delivering to the customer or before making it available to the end users audience, right? So that's the reason software testing is required. So we will make sure there is no bugs, there is no defects in the application, right? And once we do the once we for, follow this proper software testing process, it guarantees you the quality of the application, quality software, right? That makes your customer more reliable on you. They can come to you again and again. They will use your product, and they know, okay, it is very easy to use as well. So these are the parameters you need to make sure when you do the when you test the application, right? And this is why it is required. Now I have mentioned for scenario, and this is not something that I have created. You can go and search in Google as well. These are the big losses has happened in the bugs due to bug in the software. You know the Bloomberg, guys? What is Bloomberg?
Never heard of it.
Ali, are you aware about Bloomberg?
No,
Okay.
I know the Bloomberg mirror over here, but I don't know about that.
Okay, Anthony, any idea about Bloomberg?
Is another part of the stock market, one of the big
Exactly.
market.
Exactly. So it is a portal of the stock market where people can buy and sell their stocks, right? And it work with the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, right? And it also work with the different many different stock market, like in the US, in the London, and as well, right? So that is a Bloomberg terminal. People use those things to buy and sell the stocks, right? So in 2015, April 2015, there is a bug in the application, right? Where what happened, whenever person put something to buy in term of stock, right, the amount gets changed automatically because there was a bug in the application. And that's the reason there was very the financial loss in the market itself, and the government has to postpone the overall transaction, whatever the transaction. I think that the glitch was around 9 to 10 minutes only. For 9 to 10 minutes they found that glitch, and the developer and the test engineer have fixed those glitches in the 9 to 10 minutes. But in the 9 to 10 minutes they have done 3 lakhs trades, 3 lakhs transaction, buy sell and all those things. So around 3 billion pound was involved on those transactions, right? So you see, only 10 minutes those got affected because they found the glitch in the software, right? And they
So
yeah.
in a situation like that, does that fall back on the software tester for missing the glitch?
No, sometimes what happen, let me tell you one thing. The nobody can no application is 100% bug free, to be honest. There there must be something. Let's suppose if everything is working fine, but due to some network issue, due to some internet issue, or due to some hacker, let's suppose some hacker will come into the picture and they hack your application, right? So at that time it may be possible we will have these things in the production as well, right? Sometimes we test the application 100%, right, and we give to the customer. So it may be possible customer will come up with something. This is okay, see, this is not working the way I want, right? So no application is 100% bug free or error free, right? Never think we can make the software 100% quality. It should be always 98%. 2% is always on over the air for the customer side and all those things. Okay. So this is the first instance. The another instance with the Nissan car, right, is one of the biggest car manufacturer in the market, Nissan's car. So they have to roll back 1 million car from the market because their airbag sensor was not detecting the accident, right? When they do the testing, right, they what they do, they put the car into the market, right? But at the time of the few of the instance, they found their airbag is not working as expected. So what they did, they rolled back all the changes. They asked all the showroom to get the car back to their manufacturer and go down, and they will make some changes in their software to make it work. You got my point. They only found two accident which show the software failure in their airbag, and they roll over all the cars. They says no, we will test for all the cars because over here the human life is there, right? So we cannot take any risk. So they roll over they recall all the cars to their manufacturer, go down, and they start repairing those stuffs. They start fixing the bug, right? Then Starbucks, right? You know, the Starbucks is one of the famous coffee chain, right? The Starbucks. So 60% of store in the Starbucks in the US and Canada, they have stopped because their POS system got some issues, right? The POS means point of sales, right? When you go to the coffee shop, right? When you buy something, they have some one tablet kind of windows in their screen. They just click on that, okay, one coffee, that done, and they'll give you the receipt of payment, right? This is what you need to pay. If you go to McDonald's or somewhere, you can find this machine to order the food or to order something, right? So they found those issue whenever they put anything, right? It is not giving the proper invoice to the customers, right? So they have to close down, they have to shut down 60% of store in the US and Canada due to that software glitch, right? The next thing is that Amazon, now Amazon is allowing the third party, the small seller and buyer, to buy their product, to sell their product in their platform, right? So they found the glitch of one, there is small change in the amount when somebody add the new product to buy, there is small amount change in the total amount, right? So to fix that glitch, right, to fix that glitch, they have stopped third party to sell on their platform for I think 1 or 2 months, right? Because there are heavy loss. Suppose if you are buying something on $3, right? But when you go to the total page, it's showing the $6, right? Or it is showing the less amount, it is only showing the $1. So this was the glitch they found. And to fix that things, they have stopped all the third party product to to sell in their product for 2 months, right? So these are the big instance has happened. Why I am explaining these things, nobody will ask you in the interview, but you will understand the seriousness of the software testing and why we need the software testing. You can go and do the Google, right? There are many instances which has happened in the past, right, which caused the glitch in the application and losses in the business and the reputation. And that's the people focus on the software testing and why we required the software testing. Okay, so guys, I think let's keep these things as of now, and we will continue the next things in the next session. What do you think?
Sounds good. So it's all
Sounds
pretty straightforward.
Hmm. Because once we go to the next steps, it will be the black box testing, white box testing, and all those things will come into the picture. But we will go to the step by step, and you will understand those things, right? Now,
Mhm.
the time for the assignment, right? So assignment you need to do, right? Okay, just hold on. Okay. First, what you need to do, you see over here HTML, Java, Selenium, AWS, right? This for block. So whatever the term I have used, right? You need to give me two things. What is advantages, disadvantages, right? When I just says first things, HTML. So I will first says what is HTML, advantages of HTML and disadvantages. You can search these things in Google, right? So I need for each and every terms, right? This is your first things. Then second things, you need to give me 5 lines of role, right? Role for for BA person, for project manager, for BA.
What do you mean by lines of role?
I will tell you roles and responsibility.
and what are the roles in developing product?
Yeah, developer, tester, cloud engineer, right? Okay, just hold on. Yeah, these things. As a part of your assignment, you need to finish these two things, right? What is HTML, what is CSS, right? Just one line, what is this two advantage, two disadvantage. Just one line of definition, advantage and disadvantage. You got my point. And the
Mhm.
last things, I want SDLC, right? You need to describe the SDLC in the paragraph view, right? In the paragraph, what you understand from the SDLC. What is SDLC, right? Not about
Um,
agile or waterfall, just SDLC.
I don't know if
Now,
I missed it. But the first part of the assignment, you said what is question mark, advantage,
no,
disadvantage.
no,
What?
you need to give me these three things for all the topics, all
Oh,
these
for each
topics.
topic. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
right. What is Java? What is advantage of Java? What is disadvantage of Java? What is C sharp?
Gotcha.
What is advantage? What is Selenium? What is advantage? What is KTP? What is advantage? ALM? What is AWS? So you will understand the basic terminology, right?
So you want us to do that for all four for each section? For like,
Exactly, exactly, for all of them. You got my point.
Yeah.
And then about this role and responsibility. So what PM can do, right? What is the role of PM, right? So if I will do that things, I will just say project manager responsibilities. You see, and I will just go to any website, right? And I will understand. Okay, what project manager normally do in the SDLC, right? So I just says okay, planning the resource, planning the resource, then time management, right? Then budget, quality. Then if I go to another website, I will see like this way what project manager will do. So yeah, activity resource planning, right? What project manager do, right? Organizing and motivating the project team, controlling the time management, right? And the same way you need to do with the business analyst person, what designer can do, what developer can do, what tester can do, and what cloud engineer can do. These things you need to do as a part of these three things. First is this one, what advantage and a disadvantage. Then role and responsibility of the people work in the IT companies. Just 4 to 5 lines is more than enough. And when you do the assignment, do not do copy paste, understand that things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you talk to someone, you should be aware, okay, what is the role of project manager, right? What is the role of designer, what developer do, what cloud engineer do. Then the third one is that describe the SDLC in your term, what you what you understand or what you think the SDLC, right? Software development life cycle. The same way I got your assignment, you see all of that, you did the good job. I think all of them you have write the in the correct way, what is a web based application, windows based application, and all those things. But I can see the Koala, you also mentioned many things in detail, right? The all the things in detail as well, right? So try to give the formation like the bold italic when you found okay this is window based application. This is, you see, this is the good way to explain something. If I understand okay this is a window based application, so these are the window based application, right? And Anthony, oh, you also did the same thing. You did the, yeah, you write everything in such a way, right? Then you also write the domains and with, so try to use bold and all those things. It will give you the quality in the documentation part as well, right? Because documentation is also good. It's also required for the tester. When you work as a tester, you have to do lots of in term of the documentation. You got my point.
Mm-hmm.
I know, guys, you might be feel this is very basic and why we need to do, we need to go into the software testing. But trust me, it will not take more than 10 sessions to make you aware. And once you learn those things, you will understand why the things we have already learned is important. You got my point. I do not want you to confuse on any terminology once we go into the advanced steps, right? Because once you learn the selenium, right, you have to understand what is HTML, how we can find the HTML tag, right? So you should be aware about little bit. I am not going to ask you to become expert in the HTML or CSS or Java, but understand what they are, what designer do, right? This is not about we only think about the software tester, because you are not going to do the testing only, you are going to work with the company, right? You should be aware about what other people will do. And this is a time you just spend for at least 3 to 4 hours to complete this assignment. And when you do the assignment, try to remember those things using the practical mind, right? Do not copy paste or do not just see and write the things. Got the point?
Mhm.
Anthony, are we clear? Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah, are we clear on this assignment?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, Ali. Are we clear in this assignment?
Yeah, we're clear.
Perfect. So we will schedule the next session mostly on Friday at the same time or Thursday at the same time. But I want you to just do these things, okay? Before the we go to the next level, because now we will only focus on the software testing. This is the last things that we are talking about, the other parameters about SDLC and all those things.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, guys. So just go and in the morning just try to learn these things. I will upload this video in the same drive, right? So you can access this video as well for your learning.
Okay.
Perfect. Take care. Good night, guys.
Right.
All right. Good night.